It is Wednesday, my dudes, and tonight, get ready to go absolutely ape. See what I did there? As we welcome the one and only Sgtbananas to the show. We'll talk to him about his impact on the toy community, how he plans his shots, and what he's learned throughout his career. We'll break down some of our favorite shots, some of our favorite photos for the week. I swear one week I will be better at this. Otherwise, there's nothing left to do but to cue that intro. I promise I'm not going to make a ton of monkey jokes tonight. I promise I'm not going to tie them all in, but
a ton,
because that would be bananas if I did that.
There it is.
You know what's going to happen. So, welcome to another episode of Between Two Sentinels. This is episode 14. Who let us go this long? Whose fault is this? I of course am Jshot. Jay's hot. If you spent all your money on Haulathon this week. Little ghosting.
Oh, look at that fade.
Oh, you like that? That was an accident. That was a complete and utter accident.
That fade.
And the man who is about to change his name to Craven the Toy Hunter, who, by the way, if nobody has that handle on IG, you're welcome. What's the one, the only Matchu Toy? What's going on, man?
Not much. I just woke up from a nap because, I was toy hunting all day, apparently for, you and a bunch of people in the chat. Well, yeah, in one of our chats,
right? One of the many chats that we're on.
One of the many chats that we're in.
Oh. And D Blake seems to be the common person though in all our chats. He's always there. So
yeah, I feel bad when I share something in a chat, or I share it to you, and then I share it to another chat, and then another chat that you're in, and then another chat that you're in.
Yeah,
so you see something that I share with people
it's okay.
4 times in a day.
It usually takes 3 or 4 times for it to really register with me. So, it's it's good. The repetition is good for me. So yeah, I mean, speaking of chat, we can, you want to go ahead and check in with everybody? Yeah. So we got Toy Rentu is in the house, Bearded Builds, part of the Unhinged crew. Winger Lose is here. Tenyo Toys is here. I already said Toy Rentu, right? I'm already forgetting.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose Bearded Builds.
By the way, for hooking me up.
Steve Morrow is here. Trevor, man, I've already apologized a million times for not making it last week, but I will do it again and again and again, and until you come back on the show and talk to me. But I apologize immensely. I just got the call today about my car, so that car is gonna sit until Haulathon is over, when I have money back. So, again, apologize. But hey, Matchu, amazing job holding it down. And huge thank you to the chat. The chat was on fire that night for you.
Oh, yeah.
They really stepped it up. So I appreciate the hell out of you guys. So, whew. All right, Travis is all good, man. Because, I was going to carry that with me for a while.
If you could just see how much my knee was shaking in the beginning of the show.
Why do you think I stand for every show? It's just
I'm surprised you're not shaking while you're trying to drink from your mug.
What are you talking about? My mug. Hey, I'm the problem. It's me. Always available on mellymade@etsy.com. So, appreciate it again for holding it down, Trevor. My apologies. Unforeseen circumstances, I will tell you that. But thank you to everybody who's here tonight and continues to be here. And please, like, share, follow. Really appreciate that. As Kevin says, it costs you nothing, but it helps us out. So we really appreciate that. Yes, Steve, the car is still in the garage. It is.
No, he's asking if you're still in the garage. I think
he's wondering if you're
green screening from the garage.
Oh yes, I'm green. This is all a facade. So, and Henrock is here.
He's alive.
Hope you're feeling better, man. Hope you're feeling better. He was going to be part of our special edition Monday show that we did, the recap of ZoloCon. Mm-hmm. That was fun. That was fun to chop it up with those guys again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor, where were you on that? You didn't make it a ZoloCon, so I think we're even now. I think that works, right?
That's not all his fault.
Oh, the car
is not. I told you to get rid of that car since last year, the year before that.
Yeah, and I told Becca to stop making toys. So
who's gonna listen to who?
That's right. Del Margo photo. That's a new name, I think. Welcome. Yo, made it to live.
I think he's left a comment on our. I think he was on a replay crew.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Okay, love that replay crew.
Danny
and Toy Attic is here. What's up, dude? Oh, everybody's showing up. I know they're not showing up just to check up on me. I'm sure they're showing up to talk to our special guest. You want to go big screen on that, my friend?
I don't think I'm set up for this. I'm getting a huge glare on my
huge glare. It's like the glare off my forehead right now. That's what that is. So, but that's it. So 10 frames a second by the one and only Johnny Woo, who happens to be just hanging out backstage, waiting for us to bring him in.
Let's bring in our guest.
All right. Let's get rid of that super chat.
Ooh, there he is.
What's up? There he is. You are. Let's unmute you. Oh. Nope. There it is.
That was
perfect. Perfect.
Rookie move. I always seem to do that. But,
it's okay. We're a rookie show. Don't worry about it.
We should change our name to Between Two Rookies.
Between Two Rookies.
Something tells me that name's taken already somewhere.
Oh, welcome, man. We are so honored to have you here. And I know that I appreciate you responding to some weirdo's random DM and taking a chance on us. So thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. Thanks for reaching out. I'm always looking forward to talking about stuff like this with some like-minded people. So I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, of course, dude. Man. And so I mean, for those who don't know, do you want to just give a quick 30-second elevator pitch as to who you are?
Sure. My name is Johnny, otherwise known as Sgtbananas on Instagram, and I'm obsessed with collecting toys and taking pictures of them, and also spending all my money in the process of doing so. So that is pretty much what I have to offer.
I think that needs to be on a T-shirt. I spend all my money in the process of doing so. It's like, it's kind of perfect. And I think so in doing my research, obviously, research quote unquote, for the show, you said something about being a collector first and a photographer second. Mm-hmm. So do you feel like that was a while ago? Do you still feel like that stands?
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of would just lean towards saying the collector part, because without that I wouldn't be taking pictures of this stuff. So there's always that part of me that I kind of sticks out more. But I think the photography part has changed the way I look at collecting in a lot of ways, just in terms of things that I'll pick up and maybe pass on and stuff like that. So still a collector first and foremost, but the photography stuff is definitely, they're like, it might be like that, and sometimes it's like this. It fluctuates a little, but definitely a collector. I've been a lifelong collector since I was a kid. So yeah.
What did you start with when you were collecting?
So my first memories of like being like excited about a figure is like a Stay Puft Ghostbuster Kenner figure back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. I seem to remember that one, like the OG Slimer as well. And I had some like Motu stuff, but I didn't know the names of any of these. I mean, I know Skeletor now. I know like the main crew now, but like back then I was just like, oh, this guy has like weird hands, and like I didn't know who they were. So once I was introduced to Ninja Turtles, that's when I learned, like, I knew the names. I watched the show, like I knew like the character personalities and stuff, and was all in. Like if the other things hadn't grabbed me yet, it was that the Turtles really just like grabbed me, and I'm just like, this is it. Like I'm obsessed.
It's like what's that TikTok audio? Wow, this is gonna be my whole identity now. Like,
yeah, for sure.
And I know that we'll talk about this. We talked a little bit about this backstage and stuff, but like you obviously still collecting Turtles, doing work for Super 7. If I again doing my research, you said your first shot was Mondo Gecko on a tech deck ramp. And I mean, that feels like, I mean, that must have been way back, right, when you first started. So that's been what, roughly how many years?
9 by my count, something like that.
Damn,
something like that. Something
9
like
years.
obscene. Like yeah. Every year that passes, I'm like, is it really been? Has it been that long? And I'm like, I guess. Like,
that's awesome though.
Yeah, but yeah, you're correct. It was Mondo Gecko board sliding down a rail, a tech deck like ramp rail, and Genghis Frog in the back cheering him on. Just the shittiest photo. Like, it's, but I mean, it was the starting point, so it is. It's a laughable shitty. It's not like, oh, like a cringe. It's
right.
Laughable. Yeah.
Well, so I mean, you know, like you're saying, that was 9 years ago. What have you learned? You know, what have you learned? What do you start doing differently now?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's got to be a wealth, you know, of knowledge of things that you've learned from that quote unquote shitty shot, which I'm sure if you put up now would hit somewhere in the thousands of likes.
I don't know. Yeah, I think, you know, the whole thing, like, as a journey, there's just been so many different like little chapters, really, where in the beginning, like back then, it was seriously just like I would take some of my turtle figures out and kind of just play off of like the character, you know. So like Mondo Gecko, it's like, oh, he's a skater, so I'm gonna have him skating on something, stuff like that. And then I started getting some Star Wars, like around this time, like the Black Series was like still in the first wave of figures, so I got some of those, and then I started shooting a little bit of that, and at that time I was still primarily or solely really just shooting outside, like in my backyard or down at the beach or a park or something or other, and I was using my phone, and I just kept doing that. I was just having a ton of fun doing that stuff. I had all these like ideas in my head, you know, just like as a kid, you're just playing with your toys and stuff like that, and you have all these storylines going with different characters. And I mean, that really never stopped with me when I would like look at action figures. Like, I would just imagine like storylines, but I didn't have like an outlet to kind of like channel that through. It was kind of, you know, as funny as it sounds, it's like I wasn't gonna sit there as an adult like, you know, just like how you would as a kid. And yeah, the photography aspect kind of really grabbed a hold of me as well. And my girlfriend is a photographer, and she kind of persuaded me slowly into like picking up an actual DSLR and like learning how to use a camera. And I was hesitant at first because just having, you know, a phone was just so easy. Just, you know, it's real simple. Right. You just, you know, and eventually I did pick up the camera, and I started to learn. And once I realized like the quality and stuff of the camera, then it was really over in terms of like being obsessed. It was like I was already obsessed with like, you know, setting the stuff up and just taking it with my phone, but then the photography camera part came into play, and I just really grabbed a hold of me as well. And here I am all these years later, and learned a ton of things and trial and error. It's, you know, I went through a phase of like just doing all different types of effects for a long time, like trying my hand at like how to create like dust and debris and like rain and snow and fireworks, and even went through a phase where I was doing a lot of blood splatter things. And I think in that stage it was really more about, you know, trying to capture the effect and less about a storyline. You know, like, it was more about effect, less about a story. And now I think current day, it's like it's a lot. It's really about the story the most, and like a vibe. That's where I'm at right now, where it's like, and not to say I wouldn't do those, like do I do, but I think my way of thinking has shifted into like the effect part kind of comes last in the equation of the idea, where it used to be the first thing. It used to be like Iron Man explosion, there's my idea.
Right.
And even to the point of like if I look at, you know, when I'm critiquing my own work, which I think we all do, critique our own work, and it's like I could totally just see it's just like, yeah, you're just kind of like, there it is, like the pose is wonky, you know, it's not cleaned up, it's just, but the effect looked damn nice, but it was like the rest of the photo kind of suffered off of that, and now it's just I approach it in such a different way where I have like a kind of like a mental checklist, I guess I sort of play around with and go through as I'm setting up shots. I ask myself a lot of questions when I'm taking photos of like,
Okay.
you know, like, does this make sense for this character? Why would they be there? What would they be doing if they're there? Who else would be there? Like, what time of day is it? Does this prop make sense to be in the shot? Does it take away from it? And yeah, I just get real, like, I get real in depth with it, and I mean, I like it. It's a different type of shooting than I did like years ago, and not to say that I wouldn't do that stuff, but I think I just really have to have the right idea for it, and then I would, but yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you took the, you know, when you're just saying the storylines when you were a kid of like, you know, bashing the toys together, which I still do, so it's totally fine. But when you're doing that, into just, okay, how do I tell the story in the shot, right?
Yeah, like how do you make someone feel the thing that you're trying to convey by just like looking at it, and that's why like I say like a vibe, like I'm big on that. Like it probably sounds funny or corny even, but I like to feel like when I'm setting stuff up and taking photos, like the environment, like I like to feel like if I was there, like how it feels, like would I actually want to be here? I mean, sometimes like no, I wouldn't, because it'd probably be scary as hell. But like, what I mean is like, sometimes I'll have like my gas station diorama set up, and I'm like looking at it, and I'm like totally immersed in that world, in that time as I'm setting it up, and I think that helps create that vibe that comes off in the end result, and yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's not just a vibe. It's like you're building a world, right?
Yes, there you go.
World, that imagination that you have, like, to life. And I feel like a lot of us as kids, when we were kids playing with our toys, either like just bashing them together, or like just putting them all on a tabletop and just setting up a scene. The only thing that was missing was a camera, because our parents did not want us to have an expensive camera at the time, you know?
Yeah.
And that wasn't a thing. But imagine if it was, like, us as kids taking photos with, like, you know, the 5 points of articulation.
Yeah.
And then to show it now would be cool. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, to your point, it's like some of that kind of thing never leaves some of us. And that's why we're doing what we're doing now. We're even more hooked on like toys and collecting and the whole thing. Like we can enjoy it in a totally different way now.
Yeah,
which is rad.
So, I mean, you talk, you know, like Matt mentioned the world building kind of the aspect, and you talked about a vibe or being involved in a feeling. Lord Bev, who we had on the show, talked about how, you know, he's basically just got a dio kind of set up, and he'll just sit with that shot, right? He'll just keep tweaking it, posing it before he even sets up a camera. Are you, do you like plan it all out in your head? Do you start like and sit with the shot for a couple of weeks? What's kind of been your process?
Yeah, I basically operate off of like quick strike inspiration. Something will click, and it's kind of like if I have the time, I'll immediately go to work and start doing it. That's like, to me, I'm like, that's the power of inspiration. You could be sitting on your couch like half asleep, but if I think of something that I'm like, all of a sudden I have energy. I'm like coming into the garage. I'm like taking stuff out, setting up lights, all the things, and I'm like, I have energy all of a sudden. It's like a boost, and so usually that's kind of how it works. With, at least for me, is like, I mean, I have a lot of figures here on my desk, and so I work here in my garage, and like all day, you know, I'm seeing these figures and stuff. So like, whether I'm really aware of it or not, I'm looking at them and I'm like subconsciously like thinking of ideas or what just all kinds of things. It's like I have dials like all over the place here too. So like there's always things that are like circulating in around here.
Right.
When something finally clicks, it's like it's time to go.
And when it clicks, you just like, if that's a good enough idea, you want to just like, you want to execute it, or else it's just gonna pass you by, right? Another idea is gonna come to you.
Pretty much, because like, you got to strike when the iron's hot type deal, where it's like, okay, this, if I feel like this is like, let's pretty much, I'm like, let's see if it starts to like pan out how I want it to in my head. And I guess like doing this long enough, I usually can make it happen. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm not, not everyone is like a winner, and sometimes I just end up scrapping it halfway through because I'm just not feeling it or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of like my process. Like, I'll think of ideas sometimes, like, and maybe not feel that kind of fire to be like, let's set it up, and I'll kind of just, similar to what you said about Lord Bev, like I'll kind of like sit on it a little bit and let it like flesh itself out. But the other option is usually how I operate. So, I'll see a figure. I don't know. Sometimes like I'll see the way the light is hitting something, and I'll like that, and I'm like, cool. Like, what can I do? I start to go through my checklist of like, who would be cool in this environment? Like who would make what would make sense? That's a question I ask myself a lot. What would make sense? And in some ways, I feel like that kind of hurts me at times from being more like free in my ideas and just creative, because I want things to make sense so much. Whereas like before, in my like years ago, that wasn't as much of a thing for me, where like, oh, this is the idea that I came up with, and if I think about it now, maybe it doesn't make sense, but I still did it and still had fun. Whereas now, like, I'm really getting into the weeds with like ideas and stuff like that, and like storytelling and blah blah blah.
Who's you just said you have a bunch of toys on your desk. Who's sitting on your desk? Oh, you brought up a question. I was going to wait for that one, but
I'm sorry. Answer the one on the desk first. And
yeah.
Back up.
A lot. Let's see. I got Last Ronin over here. I got Mezco, John Bernthal Punisher, Figure Arts Venom, the Agent Smith, PW Toys.
Oh, nice.
1,000 Toys, Master Chief, Figure Arts, IG-11. I mean, there's literally a grip of figures right here. Like, I have a quarter scale Raph over here, like a cartoon.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
I got the Black Suit Spidey. I got the Sentinel Peter B. I even got Acid Rain right here.
Oh, wow.
I got like a little bit of everything, honestly.
Nice.
And yeah, I just have them here. I like them, obviously. I like looking at them. They're cool looking. It's one of the reasons why we buy this stuff. And I just stare at them like a creep, and until an idea pops in my head, and then
I never thought about staring at your toys like a creep, because now I'm wondering if they're staring back at us. Now,
that guy's back again?
Yeah.
Hey?
Every damn time.
I feel like he said Acid Rain, and Mario is gonna pop in the chat somewhere.
I'm sure. Or did Mario already sell his? Did he already sell them away? So, the
just
eyes on that
right
thing,
back.
Yeah.
It's so creepy, but yeah, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, it really is.
That's the look that the toys are seeing, is those dead eyes, nothing behind them. Just
that's what they get from us.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
Oh.
They want me to hold this pose for how long?
All right. I can't stand on this.
Why are they shoving a pole up there?
So you've done some work with Super 7, or you're doing work full time with Super 7, which is awesome. And Steve actually, now I can bring that up. Steve asked a really cool question. Do you ever want to prioritize a personal image instead of a shot for work purposes? And I think that's something too that Trevor talked a little bit about either last week with Matchu or on a different stream where things change when you become a photographer for a profession, right?
Yeah, I mean the priority, it's work stuff is a priority during the work hours, so I got to get that, got to get my stuff done. But I can I can take a break, and like if I have something that I really really want to do, I can. Or if I feel like I can wait and it'll still be the inspiration is still going to be there when I'm done with work, then I'll let it. I'll wait. And then again, yeah, sometimes you wait and then you think of a different something from that idea that's even better. But definitely, because I set up a lot of different stuff for work, and it's kind of fun because sometimes I'll notice things in my setup, so I'm like, take a mental note of oh, that would be cool for X or Y or Z, to do later, just kind of like a little thing to keep in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm. What and I mean, we say we talk about this on the stream, but what are you shooting now with them with Super 7?
Well, it's a lot of stuff. Put it simply, a lot of things.
Okay.
Let's see. What did I shoot recently that I can say? I just got my hands on samples of Silverhawks Wave 2 recently.
Oh, nice.
So I know some people are probably excited about that. Personally, I didn't have Silverhawks as a kid or even remember them, honestly. So I don't really have an attachment to them. But it's funny the difference is of when I do have an attachment to it and I don't, how that kind of dictates the way the photo is going to go at times. But it's one of the challenges of working, at a company, especially a company like Super 7 that makes so many different things. It's not everything. There's no way I can know everything, in terms of characters and things like that. And then there's no way that you could like everything as well. Sure. So obviously turtles, yes, let's go. And I've learned, I've also become a fan of other things that, maybe I wasn't as much of a fan before working there, like Peanuts, like Snoopy and Charlie Brown. I always thought that they were cool, but getting to shoot the reaction stuff with them, they're always fun. There's it's just a fun thing to take photos of, and yeah. I've shot, it's I shot some of those recently, the Animaniacs as well.
Oh, nice. Matchu, you literally picked them up today, right?
Yeah, my sister got them. She's like, "Hey, you can borrow them." I'm like, "Oh yes, I will."
Nice.
I have no space to put them, but I will find somewhere to put them.
Well, it's a lot of packaging with the Ultimates, right?
Yeah, dude.
It's a lot of packaging.
I love it though because I love when you just slide the box open. That's my
favorite
part.
Yeah.
Matt, Go Figure Go wants to know if you are going to try to take over the world tonight. So.
Same thing.
God, does that make me
pre-order
pinky?
Toys?
Enough. Yeah. So did you actually said you shot some of the Animaniacs?
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, not sometimes, but pretty often I'll come out, I'll have something that I have to shoot for work that is challenging for many different reasons. But Animaniacs is one of those things where in a perfect world I would have the perfect I'd have a diorama specifically for that. I would love to be that equipped at all times, but it's just not realistic. So then you kind of and then I have to kind of think on the fly. I'm like, what could I do that's still interesting and whatever. And yes, sometimes it's taking pictures of toys, which is what I love to do. But really at times, sometimes it really is a job where you're just get through the project, because it's from a creative standpoint, there's really not much there for me. If you're not in, whatever if you're not into it in that way. I'm not saying that about Animaniacs, but I have to shoot a lot of things, and I'm not into all of it. But I still have to produce images, and that is always challenging, just to kind of get something done, even if you're not inspired.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably you don't shoot, probably, right? So like, there is that dynamic here when working for a company where it's like, it's kind of like, well, tough shit, because we need these assets. I mean, they're not saying it they're not saying that, but it is like, I got to get the job done.
Right.
So
I totally understand that.
They say it without saying it. They're
get
like,
your shit done or else.
Yeah. So you're gonna have those photos done for us this week or what? Yeah, I know.
It's cool they do everything, right? There's a lot of properties, but it's also like, man, they do a lot of properties.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. And it's sometimes like, I don't know what, like, never even heard of the thing, so it's like, I'm like, oh, what will this be like?
I have this like vague memory of Silverhawks, right? Like, I remember vaguely seeing the cartoon show, but I remember getting the action figures as a kid and being so disappointed because like it was cool, right? They like, you press their legs and their arms popped up, but that was it. So like, if you wanted them to punch or you were gonna bang them around, you're stuck. They gotta
fly. They gotta fly around. Like, I'm gonna get you. Like,
you gotta fly everywhere. That's it. There's it. So I remember that. Like, I remember that, and I remember there was a guy that had like he looked like Professor X. That's what I remember. He was like bald headed with a white shirt, but he had like a mech head, and you could see through it. So I remember sticking my eye like close in there, but I don't remember what it was. Like, that's all I can remember of Silverhawks. I don't remember their names, nothing.
Yeah. So like, would you? It's like, when the things that you do remember, would you be inclined to maybe pick those up if they were made and stuff like that?
Like, I might pick up like one or two of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just to see if I had attachment to it again.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I don't. Yeah, like, it doesn't. Like you said about Ninja Turtles, or we talked about Ninja Turtles, right? Like, it's like, that's my Holothon pile.
Yeah.
But and I'm thrilled and excited to have this, even though they were these characters for 5.5 minutes in one episode.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Matt. Raven the Toy Hunter here. I'm thrilled to have this. Like, this is exciting. Mm-hmm. Even though, again, 5.5 minutes they were in these costumes, but man, am I stoked. So,
something to that point, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, that is a cool toy that you like, right?
Right.
And that's something else that like kind of will get me to buy things. I'm like, I may not know about the character per se, but I'm a huge fan of a cool action figure.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if it's something that you see and maybe you don't know what it is, but you're like, damn, that looks cool. Like, I'm going to be way more inclined to pick that up just based off of the look of it. And then obviously, if you do, the toy photography stuff too, then it's just like, you're already imagining things when you see it. You're like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. And yeah.
So would you, oh, God. Sorry. I
was going to say, the collector, they feed each other, right? Like, the collector part and the photographer part, it's like a symbiotic relationship. So it's like, they need each other to keep.
Almost like Pinky and the Brain, maybe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, would you go the other way? Would you pick up a figure that, like, maybe like, you remembered vaguely as a kid, but just loved the sculpt? I mean, this Alf figure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can't say that I was a massive Alf fan, as a 5-year-old. But I mean, like, this hit just enough of the marks.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually an incredible figure.
Yeah. I picked that up too.
Nice.
And kind of like for those same reasons, it's like, I remember Alf, like, I remember seeing, I'm sure I watched the show too, but to your point, it's like, I'm not like a Alf fanatic or anything. And it's like, but that is a cool looking toy. And it comes with fun accessories. So the fun factors there, I mean, the shirt, the glasses, like
the cat sandwich.
Yeah. Yep. It's just cool. I mean, so yeah, I picked that up too.
Frankie comments, I think I have the same shirt that Alf is wearing. Frankie, go grab it, take a picture, and send it in right now. We'll pull it up. So, or put it on and send me a chat. We'll get you a link in here. So Jason writes in, yeah, Alf is great. Also cool seeing that our buddy Blaine designed it. Yeah. Blainer Things too is he's doing great over at NECA there. And he's just had 2 more figures that got released during Haulathon. So it's really awesome to see him, and he's been growing in the company, which is really cool. I feel like for a Super 7 guy, we've talked a lot about NECA, so I will be more mindful of that. So
hey, I work at Super 7, but I collect NECA as well.
Hey, I'm just in case Super 7's watching and they want to sponsor us or anything, I want to make sure we're open to everything there. We currently have no sponsorships.
Like we're gonna need you to go ahead and return that Haulathons. Yeah. Matchu will get sponsored because he's got the ultimates there. So
yeah. That would be the first time that Matchu gets that, and then I'm just over here like, hey, what about me?
What about me?
I never get the sponsorships.
Yeah. Although Go had a good comment about you, Matt, where he says Matt doesn't hunt toys hunt Matt. He's the only person I know who can walk into a Target and the figure is waiting for him at the door.
That's true. The figure that I was looking for was right there to the right in the tampon section of Target when we walked in.
Man,
he was trying to.
Yeah, decisions were made.
Decisions were made.
That's why I tell him all the time. I was like, go check the diaper aisle. You know that there is some poor bastard out there who made a decision. Oh
man, I feel like I don't know if you guys feel like this, but when it comes to hunting for figures and stuff, my Target I feel like it's the shittiest Target of all time. But I think that goes across everywhere. Right. Everyone could say that, or would say that, wow, Target sucks. They never have anything. But
should I show the picture of the Haulathon from? Do you have it up on your phone? I'll just put it on the screen.
Yeah, I have to grab it from my phone. But I was gonna say, I feel like people who live on the coasts, that's where the Haulathons really suck. Because I've seen middle of the country Targets that are just awesome, and you're just like, damn it, But
they can get anything at any time.
Yeah,
they don't have to worry.
Casually scroll in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hold on, I gotta scroll back here. Boy, we text a lot.
Yeah. So I live on the coast. So
yeah,
my Targets that are nearby suck.
But I feel like the turtle accessory pack with the baby turtles, we've only seen people on the West Coast who have them.
That's
not me.
Too.
not I, but
so that was just last night, and I think that lasted about 30 seconds after we walked in. Mainly because I took everything, but
that's such a cool feeling, you go into the store and then you get to buy turtle figures as an adult.
Right.
There was a period of time where that was not a thing anymore.
That was me. Very ecstatic. Very ecstatic.
The feeling of you're walking up to it and then you see it, you kind of get yes, there it is. Yeah, I haven't felt that in a long time because my Targets suck. I walk up and I'm like, man, why did I even bother?
It also depends on the time you go. Usually, I always thought that if you go in the morning, you're lucky. But we went. Well, I went at night. Yeah, I went at night. I left the gym and I was like, I'm gonna try the Target that's 5 minutes away. So then I called Jshot. I'm like, it looks like they had something here. So I picked them up. Which one did I get you? It was 1 2-pack.
The jersey red.
Yeah, and I was like, I felt lucky because I got one thing, and then I'm like, I'm gonna hit up the other Target on the way home. Yeah. And he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna when his wife gets home, he's gonna go out. And he didn't tell me he was going to the Target, and I bumped into him at that Target. Right, same Target.
Yeah, we had to drop the kids off at play practice of all things. So both kids in the same play. I love this comment from your sister, man. Jshot carrying his own haul for a change. Because 9 out of 10 times I am stuck carrying your haul or your sister's haul, just walking around. Oh, maybe I should have made you carry that haul out. That's what I should have done. So
it would have been if you didn't go there. Actually,
yeah, that's true. But you go, it's not the same though. I got to be there for that. So, but well, hopefully, Johnny, I hope that you have better luck in the upcoming weeks here with Haulathon, and I know that there's about to be another release tomorrow or Friday. I keep thinking today's Thursday. Another release Friday for more figures coming out. So
yeah,
I don't know. Good luck.
Yeah. A friend of mine helped me out with the Bebop and Rocksteady pack that you got.
Oh, nice.
And, Zog as well.
Oh, I was gonna say that's the other one that I'm like really excited for. The only other one that I've got like standing right here, just because this figure looks like a beast.
Oh yeah, like it's huge. Like
it's massive.
I mean, I don't have it in person, but I can tell. Like, yeah, that box is big.
Yeah.
What about other figures have you picked up? Like Matchu showed the what is it? I always want to say Jacka, but that's not right. What's the brand of Mario toys?
Oh, Jax.
Yeah. Did you pick up any of those?
No, I haven't picked up. No, I don't plan to.
Okay.
But I don't know. Sometimes, like when I do go to Target, and I'm sure you guys probably are guilty of this as well, where you just want to buy something. Impulse. You're just like, I just feel like buying a figure, and then you do, and then and then you realize after you're like, I don't give a shit about that thing. So
I think
80% of the time.
I was gonna say, I think Matt did that last night. Did you pick up like a forklift or something? You're like it was part of a wrestling pack.
It was Brock Lesnar on a forklift, and I'm like, I can use that for photography. All I have to do is just paint it and weather it, because it came with a forklift. You're sitting on a forklift, I'll just rip out the Brock Lesnar figure. But it looks like a cool prop. So there's a lot of stuff that comes with it. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, there's a lot, and that's the Pinky figure.
The brain figure.
The brain figure. Yeah. What are the ones did you get? Did you get the Yakko, Wacko, and Dot?
Yeah, they're down here. I didn't think this through. I'm locked in all the stuff. I actually dropped the Pinky, the trays, and now they're all on the floor. I think I was muted when that happened, so that was good. But you probably saw my reaction.
Yeah.
I was like, ah!
I know that you said you got a bunch of dio pieces and stuff there. Do you dabble into like customizing any of the dios, or like Matt said, speaking of dios, High School Creations coming up with his what are we calling it? Wall XD, right?
Wall XD.
Kickstarter starts soon.
Yeah, 3/14. My sister's birthday. Pie day.
There you go. Pie. Now I'm thinking about his pie. So
sorry.
Do you customize any of your stuff, or like how Matt said, he just picks up a forklift and decides to weather it? Do you like get into that stuff, or you just?
No, I leave that to the pros. Yeah, I mean, I wish that I could get myself to try it enough to like be in on it.
Mm-hmm.
But all my time kind of goes to like taking photos, and I think just knowing myself and how my personality is obsessive. So like I'm very like laser focused on like one thing at a time, and it's photos. So like if that shifts, that will go to the wayside, and I'll focus on whatever that is. So if I ever do, don't be surprised if all of a sudden you're just seeing all kinds of like dio stuff come from me. But I'm also totally fine with buying these amazing pieces from talented artists out there. So
nice.
Yeah.
What's either been the latest dio piece that you bought, or your favorite so far?
Man, that's tough. Well, latest, let's see. The latest piece, probably, which is one of my favorites, was the skate park warehouse from Euler's Workshop.
Yeah.
Familiar with. I mean,
So
I have
awesome.
I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of dioramas, and that one is mind blowing. It's huge for one. It's crazy big, but there's so many options. There's so many things you could do with it. It's so versatile. Yeah, it's a skate park, but it's also very easy to just take the ramps are all modular, so it can just be a warehouse. It could literally be whatever your imagination could cook up. And just certain things that he implemented, like the windows along the wall there. It's like I love that kind of stuff, just to have light shining through. And that one is definitely one of my favorites, and it's one of the newer ones for sure. So yeah,
that's awesome.
I have a couple other
see
things.
if I could dig that up real quick for you, just to show it off. Let's see. This is always dangerous when you're gonna share screen.
I have faith in you.
Do you? I don't have faith in me. Did it work? Yeah.
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 Yep. So yeah. Those like ducks
Oiler.
there, and like that, and just there's everything, man. It's so cool. And kind of what I was saying earlier about like being in that world. It's like when that thing is set up, it's like you can't help but feel like you're in that skate park or whatever the scene is. But yeah, like it's like that photo. I don't know. It's like I create these storylines that are just literally only in my head. And in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, it's like he went into that warehouse. It's like maybe early morning or something, and he's just in there by himself, just skating around. And yeah, it was a fun one to set up. And yeah,
I mean, I love that you're telling that story, right? Because you can see it, right, just by the light that's coming through the warehouse, right? You know, there's nothing here that says specifically time of day. But as soon as you said early morning, yep, I got that. I got that softness of the light coming through. It's not harsh, you know, and then talking about the detail in Euler's, you know, photos or his Euler's work, like the discolored windows, like that's amazing.
Yeah. And then like if you see like up in the top right corner, you can see that yellow up there. So the roof, like you can shine light on those like panels, and
awesome. Is it like frosted? So that way you get a little bit of light going through, and it's a little diffused.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. There's literally there's so many options there. Like the doorway that's behind him actually has like a stairway that comes up to it with a rail, and literally like, and then to the side of that there's two doors that swing open, and millions of options. It's seriously so cool. And
then you even got the custom vans that you mentioned here too.
Yeah, shout out to my buddy Nacho Toys. Got the custom old school vans.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, like Vapor is a figure. Like when Mezco first revealed that, I was kind of like, yeah. I didn't even pick it up, and then man, was I wrong? Like
there's a lot you could do with them.
It's such a fun. He has so many the expressions, right? Like he's such a fun character to shoot, and I just didn't imagine that I would care that much. But he's literally like one of my favorite figures to shoot. So that's pretty crazy to me that happened.
And I love that this is like gone full circle too, right? Because you talked about Mondo Gecko on a skate deck, and now we're looking at Vapor in a custom dio. Like that's a journey.
Oh yeah. I always have said this for a while now, when I was like, oh, I got to redo that first shot like now. And I think like for me, I'm just like, oh, my expectations are like too high for it. Like I won't accept anything but like what I deem is perfection. So I haven't even went down that road, but I'll say eventually it'll happen. I just need a Genghis Frog Ultimate to really get it to be like the original.
It'll be it. And yeah, and I love AB Toy Picks comment here. Crisp AF. That might be my favorite. So but that's awesome, man. What was I gonna ask? I had a segue and I think I just lost it. So I don't know. Matchu, you got anything?
I set these guys up.
Oh,
Nice.
there you go. Perfect. What are you working on now? Like, just not Super 7 wise, like personally, like what do you got kind of cooking, or what are you looking to work on?
Been kind of playing around with this Punisher idea actually for a couple days. I literally just have him on my desk, and I actually had it set up the other day, but I didn't do anything with it just because I ended up not having time. But there's something there, and I'm willing to kind of wait this one out just to see. But yeah, I usually, like, I'm someone that doesn't usually reveal what my photos are. Like, if I talk to a lot of people, like, we'll talk about photos and like, oh, this is my idea, and they'll show. But like, oh, this is the photo. Like, I almost never will do that. I don't know. I just don't. It's very like, I'm private when it comes up, but I mean, I'm fine telling you that. But yeah, it's like I kind of know what the idea is, but I'm like, oh, you'll see.
You don't bounce your ideas off of anybody when you're working on the shot.
No, I just go.
I wish.
For better or worse. For better or worse. Sometimes, like, yeah, I probably could get some great input, but I usually am just. I like to just do it and see.
So Trevor, again, who's also doing this for Mythic Legions, right? I mean, he has the question that I'm sure he deals with is, do you find doing this as work takes away from some of your energy / desire to do it as a hobby?
I guess I might be lying if I said no, but because there's definitely times, you shoot all day for work, and it's just like, even if you want it, even if I had an idea, it's like maybe I'm just burnt out, and I'm just like, so that happens. But I think that I've been, I still have the desire to take my own photos and do my own thing. Just like that has never gone away. I guess just the difference being that it is also my job, so I do get burnt out on just taking photos a little bit sometimes. Where at the end of the day, it's kind of like, I've been in the garage all day. Like, I have this idea, but do I want to set it up right now? Like, could it wait? So that happens sometimes. So.
How do you deal with, like, I mean, so is it really just a wait until it until it breaks? There's no, like, you don't have any like secret tricks for dealing with creative block, or like go step outside and slam your hand on a car door? I don't know. Like,
no, that's what I do. Works great. Well, not for your hand, but for the inspiration. Yeah, I literally, yeah, I'll just wait it out. Like I because we've probably all been there, where you kind of, that feeling of like, oh, I really want to take a photo, I want to be creative, but nothing's clicking, right? We've probably all been there, and it sucks, because like you have this feeling of like, oh, I want to create, but then like nothing's happening. And when that happens to me, and it does happen to me a lot, I just walk away. I'll just be like, it'll come back, right? Because it always has. It always comes back. Like an idea always forms, and I always come back. And even if it's like days, sometimes it's weeks. Like, I'm actually going through that right now, where I'm like, yeah, I have this Punisher idea that maybe I want to take, but like nothing is clicking like on fire right now, and I'm fine with it. I'll let it run its course, and it'll pass, and then I'll be on like a streak of being like, oh, I got all these ideas, and I'll be able to kind of like pump out, some ideas, and then there'll be a lull again, and it just kind of goes like, it's kind of like this. It's just, at least in my experience, and for me personally, it's always kind of been like that, where you get like on a hot streak where things are just clicking and everything's kind of easy, things come together, and then other times where it's like you can't, nothing's clicking, and you're just like, I want to be creative, and this sucks, and it's unmotivating, obviously. But I found that just like just waiting it out and just focusing on other things in life, just whatever, take the dog out, stuff like that. See if something comes back, and yeah.
I was gonna highlight that too.
Jason says, "Weird. You guys have creative block? Strange." Yeah.
Yeah, everyone goes. Yeah, I think it's important for people to know is just it's normal, right?
Yeah.
Everyone goes through it, and I think it just sucks though. Like when you want to be creative and nothing is clicking, that sucks.
Or if you have like a really good idea and you're ready to execute, but you have no time to do it.
Yeah,
that sucks too. Yeah, and I used to be like real like adamant about executing ideas, and like once I had them, I would just be like, I need to like get this. I need to keep trying until this works. I used to be like crazy about it, and now I'm like almost the opposite, where it's like if it doesn't click right away, then I'll wait. Like even if I have that initial like, ooh, let's set this up, and then like I start to like set up lights, and I'm like looking through the camera, and I'm like, something's off. It's not this isn't it, and like I can just walk away. I'm comfortable with just walking away and just waiting.
See, I do that too, where you just like kind of just go, I gotta wait. I gotta walk away from it. Yeah. So and Matt will yell at me. He'll be like, "Why are you walking away? I gotta walk away. I gotta walk away."
Because he's so close to being done. That's
I gotta walk away.
Like,
it doesn't matter. I gotta walk away. I gotta walk away. Rantologist says new toys are great for breaking that creative block. Except Johnny just talked about how bad his target is if you were paying attention, so he can't even find any toys. So you're just rubbing salt in a wound here. But,
well, it's bad. They're great for that, but they're bad for your bank account. Right? and also
space, right?
Too. And I'll even go a little notch further with the toys. It's like dioramas are great for a creative block too, because it's a whole new set. So it's like you can look at things a little bit different. And I think that is something that I've also fallen into of being a collector of, is like, okay, I guess I'm just a full-on diorama collector now. Like I'm just as much a fan and into collecting these as I am figures, and it just so happens that they go perfectly together. So sorry, money. I hate to break it to you, but you're not going to survive very long.
Got toys to buy and kids to starve. That's just how it works. So all right. 796 Studios has joined us. I don't know. he is late, and he's apparently singing as well. So I don't know what's going on there. But Matchu, you want to look at some picks of the week?
Do you have picks of the week?
Let's do some breakdowns of some shots.
I also have the other shots that you sent me. Should I go through those two first, or we could talk about those?
Yeah, we can start with those. Yeah. So
okay. So you already queued up the first one, so I'll just go to the next one.
Yeah, go for that.
See, now I'm nervous now because of you saying you were nervous.
It makes to share stuff, I don't know. Heaven forbid a work email appears on screen, But yeah, this is one of the ones you sent me to, man, to talk about, and it is like you go back to what you said earlier about the vibe and like feeling like you're in it. Like this is just amazing.
Thanks, man. And I chose this one kind of because it's an older one, but it was one of those, like, I was at this spot which I would go to a lot. It's just like on a bluff, and there's like I would go down. So I would walk along the bluff, and then sometimes I would go down to the beach below. But I was shooting other stuff, and then that's a quarter scale, Leo.
Okay.
So I had this baby with me basically, and I'm like walking through. I'm like walking back to my car, and the way that the light was hitting the like weeds there, I just looked over and I was like, that looks cool. And I literally plopped him down, and he's heavy, so he just stood right away, which is cool. And then I just like looked, and I was like, it was quick. It was really fast. It was just like it all just kind of went real quick, and I feel like this one I just lucked out. Like there wasn't setup time. I didn't think of this idea before. It was literally spur of the moment, and yeah.
Two things. I'm glad that you said it was an old photo. I don't feel bad about not liking it, so I'll like it now. Because this was before I was even I even had my page, so I wasn't into toy photography. This is 2017.
I was gonna say, what does it say? 296 weeks. It's like when people say, like, "Oh yeah, my baby is 36 months old." Like, shut up.
Yeah. So how big is this baby now, right? I guess I never thought of this, but like the bigger the scale of the figure, the easier it is to photograph outside. Because look how well that blends in with the background and what's in there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it definitely worked out in this case for sure. And after I took this photo, I went back to this spot a couple other times, and I never got anything else that I liked as much as that one. I tried to shoot like Raph in that environment, and just was never there at the right time of day, and it was just like one of those things that I was just in the right place at the right time. The lighting was great, and it just worked out.
And this is like this was taken like in the afternoon, like the
golden hour. It was like golden hour,
golden hour,
perfect.
And no extra lights, right? Like the shot, like it looks like there's no light.
No, this is
damn.
Man, this might now. I was starting to use like some like LEDs, like Lume Cube and stuff like that, but I was still really green with like lighting. I hadn't really shot indoors very much yet, and but yeah, I was still shooting outside a lot in this period.
Did you say green just because it's a Ninja Turtle? Was that a pun? Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Right.
And this looks like one of the ones you were talking about before too, and how you used to just use the effects.
Yeah.
Posing's
not that bad. Posing's not horrific or anything. I'm not too mad.
Posing's great, I think.
I'm not gonna I won't go too hard on it, but yeah, this was like this might have been the first blood one that I was like, when I took it and I saw the way the splatter was, I was like, yes. I was like, that's what I was going for, and then just like the contrast of that bright red on the white just pops so much. Yeah. So all I did, I mean, I used fake blood and just mixed it with some water to dilute it a little bit, and then I had like this pressure weed sprayer thing that I would take, and then I pop the head off, and then so like the socket, I would just like shoot that into the socket, and it would just ricochet and it would just shoot back out.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
That's how I would do it.
How fast was your shutter in this?
Fast, real fast.
Yeah, because there's very little motion blur, but you froze time in this instant.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly where it was at, but it was. I mean,
so that's and was this taken outside? Because then you would, because that's how you can get that much light.
Yeah, it's definitely harder to do inside. I mean, you just need more lighting and stuff like that. But yeah, it was. This was. I mean, what was that? Was it 2015? Yeah, 2015. Yeah. So this is old. And even though I misread what you said, Jshot, I'm like, oh, you want me to
no, this I love this.
But when I was going through my feed, it's like I could have grabbed stuff that was more recent to talk about, but I kind of thought it might have been interesting just to talk about stuff that maybe people have never even seen. It's so old. I think like my work now and like I've gone through different periods, so it's like what the type of photos I take now are completely different than this kind of stuff. And it's interesting for me to think about, like, I could still do this stuff, but I think I would just need the right idea to get me to do it. It's just the thought process thing where it's
right.
Back then it was like, oh, I have these 2 samurai troopers with me, and I know that I want one of them to have their head chopped off, and that actually makes sense. I mean, that does make that the idea makes sense here. But yeah, I think now it's just I would think about so much more. Like I would look at like what should be behind them though. Like what else says like feudal era Japan that's behind them, and what else can I add to it? And just really kind of.
It's very interesting how you're approaching. Like, what else could I bring to this photo?
Yeah, and then on the flip side, it's like you ask yourself, like, is that too much? Does that make sense? Do I even need that? Like,
right.
Like
editing yourself is almost just as hard as trying to, put stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also you got to think that your follower base is constantly changing.
Yeah.
Right. So newer like I didn't even see this, like, because this is, like I said, this is before I was doing toy photography, so I didn't see this.
Yeah, and I don't archive things usually, so like I have over 3,000 photos. I don't expect anyone to go down into the depths of hell down
I was
there.
trying to get that Mondo Gecko picture, and I just
Oh,
kept. I don't know.
Yeah, I could have sent it to you.
I just kept, like, in the beginning of the show, I just kept scrolling down while Jshot was talking.
Dude, there's like angler fish down there. You know, it's down there. It's deep.
That's great.
Were you more consistent with taking your photos, like, every day in the beginning, or?
Yeah, it was. I used to have this like rule of mine where I would post twice a day, and just because I wanted to. I would take so many photos. I put a lot of I don't know, pressure, I guess I would say, just to take photos, get photos that I liked and stuff, and just have like a nice backlog of photos to go. Like I remember at one point I had this thing where I'm like, I need to have at least 30 photos ready to go, and I don't know why. It's like, for whatever reason, I was like, I had this stupid number in my head, like I want to have 30 photos that I could just go through and pick and choose, and now I'm operating on the, like, maybe every couple of days I post one, you know, and I'm really fine with that now. But like back in the day, I was like, I need to post one in the morning and then one at night, and I was kind of following that, like, if you're familiar with like Toy Pops, like if you're familiar with that, it's like people join like a session and there's a specific So I did that back in the day, and so I kind of would just like follow that and just post at their times, and then a lot of other people were doing that, so it was kind of like everyone's posting their work, and you get to kind of know like the time where you're going to get to see new photos from other people. And then I eventually just stopped doing that and just started posting whenever I guess I felt like posting.
It's a great way to build your account, right? When you're starting out.
It's in a sense, but there's a cap there, because it's just like at a certain point you're gonna kind of know everyone that's in there, and really what it was really, I think the kind of benefit would be like you're supposed to be guaranteed the amount of likes that for the people that join. So if 300 people join, you should be getting 300 likes. And it's actually funny because there's a lot of drama involved with that stuff. People would be like, at the end of a session, someone would only have like 130, and they'd be like, who's not liking, there'd always be, and it's funny because you're posting it with a specific hashtag, but it's still going out to all of your following. So it's not just in this specific hashtag, it's everywhere that people that follow you. So that's
why, like, I only do those sessions for just fun, or collabs for fun, not more for growth. Just just to test myself with peers, I guess, or my friends.
Yeah, and again, it's like you're gonna get to see other people's work, and especially now with the way that the algorithm is, it's like you might not see a friend's work for like months, and you might forget about it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, does that person still exist? And then you're like, oh, they've been posting this whole time, and the algorithm has just been like, not gonna see it though.
Right.
I mean, I may have like a good, I say in quotations because obviously there's like levels, but it's like I have a decent following, but my engagement is like pure shit.
Yeah, well, because it's like the higher you get, it's still like 10% of your following that Instagram is pushing it out to, right?
I mean, probably not even. I feel like it's
even
like,
less, right?
Recently, I don't know if either you saw this, but I posted a story, and I had taken this this Last of Us photo, and I turned off like likes and stuff on my account like a while ago, and every now and then I'll go and check just to see, like, I can still see my own likes if I look into it. So I checked it, and I'm like, this was like days after, and it had 59 likes, and I literally was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's like an all-time low almost. Like I remember back when I had like 20 followers, I somehow hit like 60. I'm like, what the hell? And
So
I'm not even mad. I'm just like, this is hilarious how bad, like this is so bad, like in terms of engagement. Like I posted about it because it was actually funny to me. Like I'm not with the intention of people wanting people to support the photo, but that's kind of what ended up happening because people in the community are awesome. But that was not my intention. It was more like laugh about this.
Right.
Like
this app.
This is so shitty. Like, damn. And it's like I put time and effort into that photo, and you know, I'm not saying it was like, you know, mind blowing by any means, but you know, I worked hard on it, and I thought it was cool enough to post, and it's just it is funny, and it's like I will say that, like, and I've said this before, like when it comes to like posting photos and stuff like that, I really don't care about likes. I don't care about them. I mean, I am human, but I've gotten to a point where like it doesn't affect the way that I feel. So like I think that actually made me like more free in creating and posting and stuff, like when I just don't have any expectations for a photo. Like, I mean, sure, I'll think like, oh, I think this might do well, but I'm not banking on it, or I'm not going to be affected if it doesn't. And if it does, great, that's cool, awesome. But the best part of like the whole thing already happened. Like I got to create the photo, I got to share it. That's what's in my control. Everything else is out of my control. So like I came to terms with that like years ago, where like I was like, whatever, who gives a fuck? Like, but literally, I don't like that one got 59 likes, and like I laughed. But like years ago, I might have been like, well, what the hell? Like, I might have started questioning myself and being like, is this bad? Am I tripping? Like, do only I think that this is good? Like, nah. But like, you know, I don't think that way. It's just like, it's kind of like I don't advise getting into that way of thinking, because you'll get discouraged, and then you won't want to shoot, and you'll just start to second guess yourself, and at the core of it, there will be no fun.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to keep. I mean, for me, and I think for everybody, right? Like, why else do it? It's fun, right? You enjoy doing it. You enjoy the collecting. You enjoy the creating, and that's fun. And it's like, once it gets on social media, like if you put expectations on it, it gets tough. It can get tough in that way.
Yeah. I mean, like I can get discouraged, especially like when you put, like you said, when you put a lot of effort into something, you know, and then you don't get that kind of like, I guess, in return. But like, I'm not looking for it. It's just like, well, I put a lot of effort into this. How come it's just not doing so well? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have a projection of how well it would do based on previous things that you've put out.
Yeah.
But you can also learn from that, right? Like, I guess for me, it was like with Reels. Like I keep bringing this up with that Darth Maul, the Darth Maul lightsaber thing. I think my biggest thing was like, maybe I should have just clipped it from the beginning and go right into the action instead of let the dialogue drag out. Because I noticed that more people watch Reels without the music on, so they don't know. They'll just scroll right past it. Right? It's a learning experience also. What works, what doesn't.
But I liked what you said, Johnny, about like you've done with what you can control, right? Like you've done you created the thing, and that's what it's about, and you've the control is done at that point once it goes up, and there's something freeing about that, right? Being able to say, I made this, it's good, you know, whatever the algorithm wants to do.
It's out there. Right.
Yeah. It's like, if you're good with what you put out, then honestly, like that's what matters. Right. Like it's great to have other people, you know, feel similarly to what you're saying, or I mean, to what you're putting out. But again, it's not a given. So I think if you can kind of believe that, you know, come to believe that a little bit more, it's crazy like how freeing it was for me to be, because I used to get totally caught up in all kinds of like those types of like politics on IG, or it's like, oh, this person got X amount of likes on this type of shot, and mine didn't, and or maybe mine did and theirs didn't, and you can drive yourself insane. And again, going back to like, that's not fun. Like you it's like you go on Instagram and you're immediately like anxious. You're just like, like like what are they? And it's like, man, I'm just on here to post photos, and if people enjoy it, awesome, thank you. Right. If not, I did. Period. Like, cool.
The only thing that seems to work is if you want likes, pose a Spider-Man picture. That's it. That's the only thing I've seen. Is that
you're holding it in your hand too, right?
Yeah. Like hold the Spider-Man in your hand.
I forgot to post that picture.
It's wild how like that was a thing where people were just doing the in-hand poses, but they were like, the engagement was through the roof on those types of shots. And
crazy.
I mean, old Johnny would have been like, dude, what the fuck? Like, this shit, like, come on, like this, like almost like I don't consider this a toy photo in a sense. Like I would have been like, okay, technically it's a photo with a toy, so mark those boxes. But the type of stuff that I'm into and like what I do, I'm like, but it's and like I would start to question, like, and this is getting back into that toxic mindset a little bit, where it's like, what is like, is that fun?
Right?
Is that fun to do? And hey, if it is, fucking great.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay, Johnny. You could be human and be like, is that a toy shot? It's not a toy shot. Like, I get it. You get angry at it, man. Yeah.
I pose like obviously I pose figures, so I do that stuff. But it's like I've never been inclined to take a photo of it. Right. And I'm not. For those that do, keep doing it. I'm not knocking it. I'm just like, I'm more baffled. I'm not baffled at what they did, but like the engagement that came from it. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have expected that. That's all.
You know what, Matt? Post that now, and then we'll check back in with it before the end of the show.
You'll be verified before the end of the stream.
No, I only put that on my stories because I didn't want to post that.
I mean, actually, like kind of, I mean, I'll post, you get a new figure and you post it like kind of like that, right? You get a new figure, you post it in your story, you're holding it. Like I've done that just in like a story and stuff. But yeah, I'm very very particular with what I'll post on my page though. Yeah, right. Like
the way I took this shot though was I posed it, I pre-posed it, and I was like, I told my buddy Yanni, I'm like, here, grab my camera. I'm gonna hold this over the fire escape. I'm gonna make this a really dangerous hand pick. Stories up, and it was so cold. My hands were shaking. I was ready to lose this figure.
Yeah, I risked it all.
I risked it all.
Yeah, so the like should reflect that.
Right. And then I just posted it on my story, so it was gone in 24 hours.
Right. Oh. Yeah, all right. Well, I was gonna say that's an excellent segue. I'm glad you picked up on that, Matt. That was good. It was good. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm learning. Taking me to school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to miss.
Yeah. Oh, but I wish I had a sound effect. I had this one picked out from last week that I was going to share, but I just thought this was hysterical. I just thought this was a good, talk about fun and doing it for fun. It's just funny as shit. So
it just keeps getting funnier and funnier as you go.
The more the guy's not even looking. The one trooper's not even looking. The one that's bouncing all over the walls, shooting the other guy's target. Do we even know how that other guy got shot? Like, it's just, I just thought this was fun.
Yeah, it's a fun idea and it's executed well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
The question I have is, does he have 5 separate figures up, or did he do this? Is it a composite shot, you think?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Are those Black Series? It looks like it'd be more likely to be 5 if it was Black Series, because obviously if it's not, it's getting more expensive.
It's a really expensive fun.
Not to say like, if you like something, you'll buy it.
Yeah.
People army build expensive figures.
Yeah.
I mean, I only built Spider-Man. If it's Hasbro or imports, right?
You have the multiverse. So,
yeah, good shot. I was trying to see if it was a composite, but I don't think it is.
It's hard to tell if it is. Yeah.
Oh, this is a nice one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
97 Parsecs does a lot of Jurassic Park stuff, and he just keeps getting better with it. It's awesome.
Cool.
Just the move.
Yeah.
And the light. The glare.
The light on the.
Yeah.
That's another figure with that freaky eye that follows you too.
That's the Hammond collection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's nice.
It looks like he photoshopped the joints
a little bit.
Yeah, because the neck is broken up and it looks kind of.
Oh yeah, he
did a good job at that too.
Mm-hmm.
No,
it's awesome.
How do you guys feel about that kind of thing, photoshopping joints?
There's a part of me that understands it for certain shots, like, but there's also like there's a part of me too that wants to leave stands in shots too, right? Like, because it's toys. Like, you want to, as much as you want to eliminate the illusion, you also want people to feel like it's a toy.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about it. We talked about it last week with Trevor.
Did you?
Yeah. So for like stuff like this, for the T-Rex, I totally get it. Like it works really well for the T-Rex, but for figures that we normally see like every day, like say if it is a Spider-Man or if it's a Ninja Turtle, I believe I touched on it. It was like it's almost like the uncanny valley for like VFX. Like when they say like the VFX, it's like they're trying too hard to make it look real, but they're missing just a little bit. Right.
You go too far with it.
Yeah, but you're not. Well, you don't go too far. You're not enough. You're almost there at the cusp of it, but something just feels off because you're so used to seeing it. Like the human face, we see every day. Even if we don't see other people, we see ourselves in the mirror. You're used to seeing a face. So like if something is off in the movement on the mouth on VFX, you kind of know that. But like for us as toy collectors and toy photographers, we know where the joints are, right, on a figure. Like if it's a Power Ranger, sometimes it looks weird when I see it photoshopped where the joints are off. If they do a really good job where it does, you don't even question it. I think that looks good. But like if it brings your eyes to the joint and you're like, I wonder if they photoshopped that, then it's not doing a great job. Because now it's breaking you out of that looking at the photo. You're looking at the joint.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Good point.
What do you think, Johnny? What's your take?
Yeah, I think with this T-Rex, it definitely works. But I think oftentimes when I see it, kind of what Matchu's saying, it kind of pulls me out. If it pulls me out, then usually I'm like, obviously it's it doesn't matter. It's not my idea or photo, but I'm not someone that does it. I might have done it here and there in the past, but it's probably just like I would never do it to the extent of like doing like photoshopping like the butterfly joints out, because I feel like when I see that, when it's there, like if you have the figure and you see, it always looks a little goofy to me, like that in particular, because then it's just like they filled in gaps of the figure that weren't even there, they were there before, and now it's just like they're filled in and just like it looks. But yeah, it's kind of the thing of like, if you don't notice it, then it's fun, then yeah. But if
you're doing a good job.
Then yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So we got both opinions in the chat. Kirby Kai, our 1/6 shooter says, I'd rather see it as a toy. And then you got Kirby Kai who says, I'm guilty. I do it sometimes too.
I'm gonna say this right now. I have done it, and I've never said it.
Ooh.
And your job now is to find out where I've done it on my photos.
That'll be the teaser for this video. Find out where Matchu has done it on his.
No, but like usually it's if it's an unsightly joint, like where it's like a hip, like a thigh cut, and it's like in the skin. And if I can pull it off, then I'll do it.
Yeah. 1/6 shooter says he likes making people look twice. So Take that whole conversation out of context. All right, next photo. So.
Well, see that is also good for the algorithm in the Explore tab.
That's true. Oh, this just makes me mad now because he got the accessory. Because he got the accessory pack and I didn't.
I know. Yeah. And NECA shared this.
NECA did share it. He got a Figure Fan Nate got a huge shout out by NECA, which is awesome.
Nice.
He
did a great job of capturing the personalities of each turtle here.
Yeah.
You look at like Raph, he's like messing with the robot up there. Mike is eating the pizza. Leo's telling him to stop, and then fixated on like the TV. It's very fitting for the personalities, so he nailed that.
Oh my God,
I love the little
the VCR.
Yes, well, that's
the VCR.
There's been a bunch of figures that have come with tapes, and you can actually put the tapes inside the VCR. There's a whole thing about it. So, and I love the little pizza monster just hanging out on the top too. On the VCR there, he's just chilling.
Like it's their pet
right next to the.
Like, oh,
yeah.
I love how they have baby weapons too. Look at
yeah. I was just gonna say you've got the little nunchucks in front of the gaming console there, and the. And I love that that's Mac. Just the fact that we even got a Mac figure again, another figure that got one episode that we put into production. So I love it. But good job by Figure Fan, and congrats on the NECA take.
Good job, Nate. The only thing that bothers me kind of with these figures in general, I don't know, eyes, they're always looking forward, right? But there's nothing you could really do about that. I don't know. It's something that I don't know. Maybe I'll Photoshop it.
Yep.
What's your take on that? Can you Photoshop eyes instead of joints? Like if I wanted to make it look another way?
Sure.
If you could pull it off, right?
Sure. Yeah, I think that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Unless
it stands out too much.
I mean, you could always go too far, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow! I didn't even see this one.
Yeah,
that's great. I love the light coming off the helmet.
Yep,
that's a nice.
That glare. I think this is the new SHF figure because it comes with the throne. I was really debating on getting this, and actually now seeing this photo, I kind of want to get it. I need to stop though when I look around this room. I can't even get out. I can't even get out. All the Super 7 stuff is all over here. Yeah.
Do you do a lot of imports, Johnny? Do you collect a lot of imports?
Wow. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, I actually don't collect as many as of the Star Wars SHF anymore, but I actually feel like they're kind of. I got to a point where I was like, these aren't that much better than a Black Series. Some of them.
Thank you.
So like,
I feel the same way.
Some of them are. It's hit or miss, right? Like some of them, you're like, this is definitely the definitive version to have. Like IG-11, for instance. Like if you take the IG-11 figure arts and you compare it to the Black Series, there really isn't a comparison. Figure arts blows it out of the water. But
I have the Mafex one, but I've never even really opened it because I don't know. I just never got an idea to shoot it, and I just left the Black Series one on my shelf instead.
The articulation is usually pretty similar.
Well, yeah,
like you would expect figure arts to be a notch above or a few notches above a Black Series, and they make some weird choices sometimes with the figures where it's like the ankle pivot is goofy because it's on that ball peg a lot of
times. I hate that.
Yep.
Also, a lot of the fig arts, they're all single jointed. It just depends on the range, and it's also the same thing for the Black Series. They're all single jointed. It just depends on the range you get.
Yeah.
Right? Which one? The Obi-Wan from the new Obi-Wan series. That has a lot of range. I would try to reach for it right now, but I can't.
Well, because that had butterfly joints on it, right?
Yeah, it has butterfly joints, and it has like a soft overlay. So like, and it has a ball joint in the waist. So it gets a lot of range. You can actually get. You can get it to hold the lightsaber, like this. So it's pretty good. The only thing I had to add was ankle articulation by just doing the cut to make the swivel. Just slight modification. But yeah, I agree with you. SHF is not that far off. Like, they're not that much different with the Black Series lately. But this one looks good.
Regardless, this is a great shot.
yeah. That's nothing to do with the photo. Yeah. Photo's good. Yeah.
I think the theme tonight is just all fun. Every one of these has just been like fun shots, though. This is great. Is this from the pigeon set you just got?
I didn't even get to open that yet. It's still underneath this desk with other stuff on top.
That's like from a Hazard Gomez.
Yeah, I got that at ZoloCon.
Oh, nice.
It's funny.
I love it.
It's funny with this pigeon because remember when I was driving on the expressway and I told you and I was changing lanes and I was on the phone with you, hands free. I was on the phone holding, and I'm changing lanes and all of a sudden I just see this pigeon standing on one of the white lines as I'm changing, and it was too late for me to react. So I tried to just go over it and not run over it with my tires. And all of a sudden I just see that's the last thing I see in the pigeon is do that. He just he flaps his wings up. I don't know if I killed it, but after that, my luck with target was gone.
That's funny.
Couldn't find anything. Went to 2 targets, didn't find anything from the Hall of Fame.
I do love though that he's got him in like normal clothes, so it doesn't even like it's a Spider-Man pick, yes, but like there's nothing here that makes it specifically a Spider-Man pick.
Yeah.
Right. Like it could just be a civilian,
that just has a Spider-Man hoodie.
Yeah. Is there even a spider like on the hoodie? It just looks like a hoodie.
Yeah, there's a spider on it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
A lot of detail on that hot dog.
I was gonna say I love the glow of the newsstand in the back.
Yeah, that's from a Coal Dog figure. That hot dog from the Death Gas Station series. Golden Dog is the figure's name.
Golden Dog.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite series. That's why I know.
Steve Barrow says, "Is it just a man pick?"
Well, no, there's a pigeon.
Well, it's not a man pick. Yeah.
It's just a Peter pick.
I do. I do like the light setup because you can see that it's like an orangey reddish. On the left side, and on the blue side there's a blue. Blue side. On the right side there's a blue. And then you can see that there's a white light above from the top. So that's a nice setup that they have there. Max Fisher's been putting out a lot of good work too.
Yeah. And we all know that those New York pigeons are aggressive, so this feels accurate. Yeah.
That one that I just drove right over. I didn't run him over. I drove right over. It was not aggressive. He just stood there and then just went like whoop.
He might be. That might have been him calling his friends. You don't know what you're going to wake up to tomorrow. You never know. So we'll see.
I can't believe that it was just standing there but there's so many cars too. Why are you standing in the middle of the...
Reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where Costanza keeps running out to the pigeons. He's like, "We had a deal." Yeah. So that's a reference. It's a reference for all you youngins watching at home. So anyway, now that I've established I'm old. That's it.
That's all I got from the notes.
All right. No. That's awesome, man. Johnny, as we kind of like wrap up here, like any last, any parting words of wisdom, anything to share? I mean, you've been really great about, sharing your process. And, I think just our conversation about the algorithm alone was fantastic. And just making sure you don't live and die by the numbers.
Yeah. Just kind of piggyback off that. Just try and have fun at all times. And that's the focus, I guess, is that at the core of creating the stuff is just to have fun doing it. Try not to get caught up in the other stuff. I know it's hard. It happens though, but
it happens to all of us.
Try to remember though, like why you enjoy doing it. I think that kind of helps sometimes pull you back out a little bit. Just if you need to take a break, but inspiration will come back.
Contrary to what Matthew says, it's okay to walk away. I'm gonna stick with that. So,
well, when you're already done, that's what I'm saying.
Well, sometimes it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how close you are. Sometimes you're gonna walk away. But I definitely want to take a few minutes to acknowledge everybody's been hanging with us. We're coming up on 95 minutes here in the chat. I apologize that you guys have had to see my face for that long, but definitely want to support some of our friends in their shows. On Monday, you've got the Boba Squadron, you've got Toy Talk, you've got the Figure Booth and Legion's Lounge. Figure Booth is now twice a month instead of weekly. So
every other week.
Yeah, so twice a month. Chat Migos Assemble and Unparalleled Universe on Tuesday. Toy Pit Community and the Toy Daddies, along with Customs by Matchu and the Fallen Fett Chronicles on Wednesday. They should TPC and the Toy Daddies should be on right now, so you can jump from here and go check them out. On Thursday, you got Toying Around in the Unboxing Thursday. They're Not Dolls and Sir Dork, possibly. Friday again on Parallel Universe and the Infinity Equation, which I think will be back up and running soon. Sunday, you've got Yubo Reviews Everything, Lazy Boy Sundays, and the Infinity Creators. And of course, don't forget, we'll be here every Wednesday and possibly sprinkling in a couple of new shows during the month. So be on the lookout for that. Johnny, where can everybody find you? Or you got anything else coming up? Anything you want to tease?
Nothing coming up. But but eventually I'll post something new, and that will be on my Sgtbananas page on Instagram. That's where you can find me. Perfect. And that's about it.
Well, feel free to tag us. I'll give you permission. You can tag me if you want to post when you post something new. Don't worry about that. So, Matthew, you got any shows coming up that you're going to be on? Any appearances?
Just ours for now.
Just ours. Hey, you're.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. I'll be on They're Not Dolls tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. So tomorrow night I'll be on They're Not Dolls.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah. Love chatting with Dario too. I gotta set that up. Dario's been hitting me up about his new show, so we're gonna make sure we get that on the schedule.
He's on Tuesday, right? I believe Tuesdays after Chat Migos, I believe.
Yeah, but he's doing pre-recorded, which is nice. So
okay,
which is awesome.
I did an episode of that, so you'll see that at some point with Dario.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm overdue for getting back to him on a time to make that happen. So Dario, I apologize. I'll reach out to you this week. But with that, again, I just want to say like, subscribe, and share. And Johnny, thank you again, man, for being here. Really appreciate you taking the time. And
thank you.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Sharing your wisdom. Other than that, man, I think there's nothing else to say but to roll that outro.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. Peace. Hey, no monkeying around. What are we doing? Get out of here, you crazy kids. No monkeying.